Hey y'all, so this is just a quick review on how to simplify radicals. The whole goal for this is to pull out any perfect squares that might go into these numbers. So to find that, we just have to break down the factorization of these and then pull out pairs. So what that means is we want to break it down to find only prime numbers that multiply to be 24, or any of these numbers. So we just keep breaking down one factor at a time. Just like 24, we could do 2 times 12, 4 times 6, 8 times 3. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You'll get to the same spot in the end. So I think I'm going to do 4 times 6 for this one. And now we keep breaking down numbers till we can't break them down any further. So 4 can break down to 2 times 2. And then once you break a number apart, you can ignore it because we only care about the ends of this. 6 can break down to be 2 times 3. Ignore the 6. Now, but all of these 2's and 3's are prime, meaning they can only break down to be 2 times 1. There's not any other factors but the number and 1 itself, so that's what we care about. Once you get it completely broken down, the whole goal is to pull out the pairs. So if we look here, we have 3 2's and a 3. So that means we have one pair of 2's, and then that other 2 is a leftover, and the 3 is a leftover. Anything that's the perfect pair comes to the outside of the radical and just one of them, so that pair of 2's turns into just 1 2. So they had to work together to break out of that square root. Now they are just one term by itself. And then anything left inside stays inside, so we're left with the 2 and the 3. And then if there's extra pieces, you multiply them together. So this would turn into 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6, root 6. So that's the simplified version of that radical. So do a couple more just so you guys can see a couple more examples of this. So for 27, we could break it down to be 3 times 9. We can break that down again to be 3 times 3. Remember, once you break something down, you can cross it off. This other 3 does not break down anymore, but it's still an end cap. So now we look for our pairs. Notice we have one pair of 3's, and you don't have to circle them horizontally. We can circle diagonally as well. So that's one pair of 3's to come to the outside, and then we're left with that one other 3 on the inside. So that one simplifies down to 3 root 3. Okay, last one. Sometimes you'll end up with some pretty big numbers. I don't expect you to have all the factors of 208 memorized by any means. So generally when the numbers are bigger, it's good just to start with some small numbers and break it down. So this ends in an 8, which is an even number, so we know it's divisible by 2. So just use calculator, do 208 divided by 2. We get 2 and 104. Same thing again, 104 is still pretty big, it's still even. So that would be 2 times 52. We can keep going down the line. 52 would be 2 times 26. So if you're lucky with these big numbers, it stays even for a while. Like this one, 26 becomes 2 times 13. So the 26 broke down, the 52 broke down, the 104 broke down. Those numbers don't matter, only the end numbers do. Looking for our pairs, so we have one pair of 2 here, another pair of 2's, and then a 13 left. So on the outside, that means we bring both of our 2's, turn into just one of them, and then you're left with that 13. Since it does not have a pair, goes on the inside. And just like the first example, if you pull out more than one pair, those just multiply together. So we do 2 times 2 equals 4, root 13. And that is it. If you have any questions on how to simplify, obviously feel free to email me and ask, but hopefully that helped you out.